G.I. Joe fans, Joe Motion Videos 82 here. It's time for a bonus review. Every one of you have been so good to me, leaving me comments and sharing my videos, which is driving up my number of subscribers, which I am greatly appreciative for. This is just amazing. You guys are great. Before I get further into that, somebody had pointed out to me that my coffee account address was wrong, and thank you for pointing that out to me. I already sent you an email, so go ahead and check on that. I sent you an email on Twitter. So I will have that corrected down in the description. I also corrected Patreon, so that should be doing good in there as well. If not, if you can't get through either of those two, again, let me know, and I'm going to have to hash it out with them. But I tried them and they're working. So let's go ahead and get into this review. I'm looking at the 85 Snow Cat today. One of the better vehicles from 85 in my opinion. I hold fond memories for this one. My friend John, my G.I. Joe buddy John, had it, but he got it for Christmas, but he was in Colorado at the time. He went up there every Christmas. So another neighbor of mine, neighbor friend, Ray, he didn't have as many G.I. Joe, but he got this one and brought it over and shared it with me. So a lot of my more fonder memories of the Snow Cat go back to Ray and I playing with it and what G.I. Joes we had between us out in my front yard. I had a big pile of bricks that we would make things out of, make buildings and little cities out of, and play with our Joes in those cities. So that was a ton of fun. Almost literally, there were a lot of bricks out there. So a lot of my fondest memories of Snow Cat come from that time. I just happened to pick this one up a few years back in a box of stuff. I paid like 40 bucks for the box and got more than that in return. As far as complete vehicles go, they were in pieces and I had to put them all together, so I ended up with a complete Snow Cat and several other vehicles. And this one is in great shape. A lot of the pieces that are broken and missing on the Snow Cat, I'll point them out further in the review, but it's the ski torpedoes, the missile rack, and the windshield wiper. The steering wheel as well end up being broken or missing. Mine does not have the steering wheel, and the prices fortunately have come down on those. So let's go ahead and get into this review. The Snow Cat and Frostbite were released as a part of the 4th series. So G.I. Joe had only been around for 4 years at that time, if I understand how series go. And after it was discontinued in 1987, Frostbite again was available, and I'll get into that when we're looking at the figures. But he was available with Hasbro, from Hasbro Direct. It came with a 6-pack of drivers. Its original retail price was $8.99, which, you know, that was kind of steep back then. This is more, I don't want to say it's a deluxe vehicle, but $8.99. I remember for the average person that was pretty steep. So a lot of kids got these for Christmas. Parents could justify spending that much at Christmas time. So let's go ahead and get into this review. Right, so here it is, the Snow Cat and his driver Frostbite version 1. So this, when this hit the market, it was a pretty popular toy from the best of my understanding. Just reading review comments from other people on other channels and through social media, this was a pretty popular vehicle. So in 1988, they released Snow Cat version 2, or the Tiger Force Snow Cat, and it too came with Frostbite. I already reviewed these, but I'll talk a little bit more about them. Now, Frostbite came with a variant. Came with the exact same weapon, so there's no big change on that. But the variant on Frostbite, one has black eyes and the other one has red eyes. So they're, oh, and the fur, I'm sorry, the fur is a little bit lighter on the dark, on the red-eyed version. It's more of a yellow on the dark-eyed. Either or of those, neither of them, I should say, are highly sought after by collectors. It just so happens that I got lucky and got one of each of the variant when I bought the Snow Cat. So it's nice that they put that variant out. Adds just a little bit more to collecting. I'm not real big on variant collections, but there we have it. So in 1987, Frostbite was released as to Hasbro Direct as a part of a 6-pack driver series. He came with Thunder, as well as the Hiss driver. Get that guy to stand up there. Came with the Stinger driver, Water Moccasin, and Crankcase. Now, to the best of my knowledge, when Hasbro releases an action figure, they do not change the paint scheme on them. I know they changed the color a little bit on their vehicles, but the action figures not much. They'll change the accessories, and again, that's to the best of my knowledge. If you guys know anything different, please let me know. So when the Snow Cat hit the shelves in '85, Cobra was really behind. They had snow serpents, but that was it. The Snow Serpent was their first Arctic figure, and he is clearly a fan favorite. And I must say, yes, he has really grown on me. After doing a review on him, I really started to like the Snow Serpent a little bit more. So he is up there on my favorites. As far as Arctic assault vehicles went, Cobra had none. So the Joe team had the firepower, and Cobra was really lacking on that. Yeah, the Joe team had their Battle Bear. They had this, and Cobra only had him. And we were meant to troop build those, but honestly, how many kids bought multiples of the same figure? I sure didn't. Hasbro in 1988 evened the odds. They gave us this magnificent piece of equipment, the Cobra Wolf. Now, the Wolf is very similar to the Snow Cat in different ways. The Wolf has 4 missiles. Snow Cat has 4 missiles. The Wolf had a ski torpedo, and the Joe team had a ski missile. Vehicles had a driver, and both could carry 8 action figures. 2 on the inside of the cockpit, and this one had a split cockpit for the driver and its gunner. So 88 brought us another Arctic troop in the form of the Ice Viper. This guy is pretty cool. I reviewed him before. He came with a pair of Psy, which were very soft plastic and easy to lose, so I only have one Psy for him. Go ahead and take a closer look at the star of the show today. So let's go ahead and his accessory. He came with what appears to be an M16 with this huge sniper scope on it. At least I call it a sniper scope. He would need a large scope, of course, out there on the tundra to get a closer look at camouflage action figures out there. Action figures, camouflage Cobra troops in the snow. And this is a very, very nice take on the M16. Has the ridged foregrip. The sights are accurate. Has the 30 round magazine. And the buttstock is also padded. I don't know if you could see there or not. There's ridges on there. They did a great job sculpting that. So let's take a look at the figure. He is clad in this white snowsuit. Snow boots are laced up the front. He has, like the Snow Serpent, a fur collar. This, or a fur stole, this is to keep the snow off of his shoulders to help keep his coat dry. He also has a fur cap and sculpted on goggles. Nice sculpted pistol there, painted in black, and the holster straps around his chest. And he has a pretty generic black belt with one pouch on it. Now, I like when vehicle drivers come with a weapon. The Cobra Wolf had a gun mounted on top, which this doesn't have any armament. Once his missiles are expended, he's done. So he needs some way to defend himself. So I like when vehicle drivers come with a gun. To further mention, he has nice pouches here on his sleeves and a polar bear insignia. This is pretty worn off, but this is looks like a polar bear on his right arm. A file card from the Snow Cat. You see a child clip this off the box. Nothing on the back. This would have been displayed on the back of the box. It reads Snow Cat Driver, codename Frostbite. His file name is Seward S. Farley, Seward S. Farley. Seward was historical to Alaska, the Seward's Folly. So it's something to look up there. His serial number is 215-58-9136. Primary military specialty, motor vehicle driver. Secondary specialty, armorer, so he's in charge of the guns. Birthplace, Galena, Alaska. His grade is an E4. He's a specialist. I think he should have a higher grade. He's a vehicle driver, so he should at least be a sergeant, in my opinion. Frostbite, middle paragraph here, was born in a place where summer is a myth and the crowd consists of 2 people standing in the same area. He worked briefly as a linesman on the pipeline, but found the job unchallenging despite the 40 below zero temperatures and hazardous conditions. The Army promised to give him a challenge whenever he wanted one. Also a severe reduced cut in pay. Frostbite graduated from transportation school at Fort Eustis and Armored School, Fort Knox. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not armorer, it's armor. My dyslexia kicked in there. So he drives armored vehicles, which this would be since it's a tracked vehicle. He's a qualified expert in the M16, M19 11A1 auto pistol, M250 caliber machine gun, the M60 7.62 millimeter machine gun. 7.62 is a NATO round. Oh, right, bottom paragraph is a quote. Frostbite has to be cool. The environment he works in is too unforgiving. If his snow cat throws a piston, he has to step out into the weather that'll freeze a hex wrench to his bare skin in 5 seconds. I do not doubt that. And carry through a repair job that would be taxing under ideal conditions. He can't afford to panic, not even if he wants to stay alive. End quote. In spite of his happy face, he has to be a tough guy. I mean, Duke was a tough guy and he smiled, so why can't Frostbite? So let's go ahead and look at this awesome bit of machinery here. It has a pretty imposing front look. So it came with these 2 clear headlights, which is a nice little feature. A windshield wiper that actually worked. Just move back and forth with your help. This is a part that's easily lost. This windshield here, if you can see it perfect, this area here is frosted, kind of give the indication that it was frozen or has snow on it, and the windshield wiper just cleaned that off. Cockpit does swing open to reveal, or the canopy I should say, to reveal this nicely sculpted cockpit. Has 2 padded seats, control panel on the inside. I'm assuming this gear works the tracks, and this is a gear shift. The floorboards even have texture on them, like they have a floor mat in there. Supposed to have a steering wheel right here that rocks back and forth, but my steering wheel is missing. On the sides here is wheels that are independently moving, so they got rid of that dowel in the middle. Been nice if these were rubber. It has very nicely sculpted tracks that are not movable, but instead he has wheels here on the bottom that are free moving. Not much sculpting on the bottom. Outside of this really cool snow cat insignia that seems to be dripping blood off of his tongue, there is a foot stand, or a foot peg. There are 2 more pegs right there on the sides, but you have to take off the ski missile, and this is easily lost or broken. This is a kind of a thin plastic. Obviously comes off real easy, so these would come up missing and you'd still have the ski, because that's a little harder to take off of the vehicle. So this one holds 4, 6, 8, 10. Sorry, I have a correction to make. The Wolf holds 8, this holds 10 Joes. So this part right here always bothered me. You had to take the torpedoes off, or the missiles off, if you wanted to carry some more G.I. Joes. So that was a feature we never really played with. We just left the missiles on. The tailgate is somewhat removable, but mine's on pretty tight, so I don't want to mess with it. He has 2 more foot pegs here, and here at the top you see has a missile launcher. It's hollow on the bottom, and that is really irritating. Why couldn't they just have closed this in just a little bit here on the bottom and slide the missiles in? So that's a big problem for me. And another part that's easily broken are these tabs. You will find a lot of them out there at the broken tabs, more so on the Tiger Force, because for some reason when they made the plastic yellow, it weakened it some. So these tabs are very easily broken, and I hate taking that off as a demonstration. The 4 missiles do come off. Very nice missiles. They fit right down in these slots here. Just slide in there on with the pin, or on the fins. Very nice vehicle all in all. Also, you might find these on the aftermarket with these fenders missing, so that's something to look at closer, because that's something very easily overlooked. Up at the top here, there is another plastic light. That slides in there pretty tight, not bad. So that's usually still on there when you find it on the aftermarket. And your typical G.I. Joe gas port right there. Real nice. But this is a very good vehicle. I really enjoyed it as a kid. Went through a lot of rough play with us, but we didn't have snow to play with it in. So thinking sometime next year, while it's still snowy up in the mountains, I'll take this up there just so I can play with it in the snow. Alrighty, there's one thing I did forget to add, that the Snow Cat did make its first comic book appearance in Marvel issue 8, European missions. So that was its first comic book appearance. Of course, it showed up in the commercials as well as in the Sunbow animated series. So let's go ahead and get into a segment which a few of my viewers have named Byrons Gripes. Okay. So, when you're looking for that Snow Cat on the aftermarket, it is out there. It's out there in abundance, surprisingly. You can find the pieces for it all over the place. You can find them complete, incomplete. So, excuse me. So if you want a complete Snow Cat, the ranges go from $29.99, these are fixed prices, not auction prices, to $95. $95. That one came with a box, the $95 one. Came with the box, but I don't know if I'd pay $95 for a complete Snow Cat with its box. It's not mint in box, it just came with the box. I paid less for the Arctic Wolf with its box complete. So $95, that is up there. What were you thinking, dude? What were you thinking? $95. It's your item. That's great. Anybody could name any price on their items. Whether or not you get them is a different story. And I personally wouldn't pay $95 for it. The condition would have to be near mint for me to pay that much. But giving the availability of the Snow Cat out there, it's I wouldn't pay that. I would buy the complete one and later on buy the box if I wanted it. Even on yojoe.com there are 2 of them for sale. So the steering wheel isn't all that rare. I've seen a lot of them out there with the steering wheel still. It's not like the Vamp or the Stinger steering wheel that people mark up. $75 for a Vamp steering wheel. My gosh, what are you thinking, people? $75 for a little piece of plastic. No thanks. But the Snow Cat steering wheel, $6.99 to $8.99. Okay, these both come with an or better offer. If I were to wanting to complete a Snow Cat and I just needed the steering wheel so I could turn it around and sell it, yeah, I would throw out an offer of $5 and see if that helps. Even go up to $5.99. I wouldn't pay $6.99 for it, because that would mean I would have to sell the Snow Cat for a higher amount to recoup the cost. But I'm not so much into buying and selling. I do have some things that I do sell. If I have multiples of, I'll go ahead and sell those. But most of what I have multiples of, I'm saving it for giveaways. So if you want the driver with that's not complete for Mr. Happy Guy, $6.99 to $10. I would pay $6.99. I might even pay $10 if I needed him, but you would have to be a pretty good specimen. This one was fantastic. The joints on him are really tight. He came with a file card, and I bought it from a retailer here in town. It was a private-owned business. Support local businesses. I'm really into that. So I paid a little bit more, but I would pay that in shipping if I were to buy this on eBay. So I paid like $12 for him. There is an original sheet of decals out there. It's pretty sweet. They're not repros. $19.99. I would pay that. I would if I had one without decals on it, which happens because you know kids pull stickers off of stuff, or the stickers fall off with age. Like my hair, it fell off with age. I would buy the original sticker sheet for $20, you betcha. So I would call that the deal of the day. So if you're wanting a complete Frostbite, just remember, he comes with a gun. Doesn't have the file card with him, just the gun. $10, $16, okay, I would pay that. $19.99, $20. Just because it says G.I. Joe doesn't make it valuable. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I wouldn't pay $20. And that was a fixed price. That wasn't an or better offer. The dude wanted $20 for it. And you know what? You'll probably get it. Somebody that wants one bad enough will probably get it. And there maybe somebody who was starting off collecting and not real up on the prices would pay it, because I know I did that. I wasn't real sure about them, so I would call or send down HCC788 an email. Hey Brian, would you pay this much for this? And I'd send him a picture of it from eBay. I would actually send the link to him. And he would say yay or nay, or I wouldn't pay more than this amount. And so he was a great source for me. And you guys could ask me these questions too. I do not mind. And that's also why I do this segment. So you know what prices to look for. What would you pay? What wouldn't you pay? And I just don't want you guys to fall in the same trap I did and spend $30 on a $10 figure. If you want one complete with a file card, this is a pretty decent deal. It came with a file card, but it was missing an O-ring. Big deal. You could go to Home Depot, go to any hardware store, and buy O-rings for these guys. Or you could buy I bought a bag of them, 150 of them on eBay for $10. And the O-rings work really well for these guys. So that's a decent deal. $10 with a $4.95, including the $4.95 file card. Not bad. And yeah, I would pay $4.95 for this. And again, these prices do not include shipping. So you got to keep that in mind too, man. These shipping costs are out there. I actually had one seller reimburse me some shipping because it was quoted higher than it actually came out to be. And I just praised that man up and down in his comment section because of his honesty. And he sent me $3 change. So another thing you could look out for, and this just came to mind, if you think the shipping is too high, and you really need that item, it's up to you if you want to buy it. But if you think the shipping is too high, take the box to your post office and have them weigh it. And they do this as a courtesy. I had them do this for me before, and tell me what the shipping would be from the sender to you. And there are times where shipping was overpriced by $5 to $8, and I contacted the seller and never heard anything back. So that's going outside the realm there, but I'm just letting you know, if you think shipping is a bit much, have your post office check it. And I can tell you from a seller standpoint that eBay, when they set the shipping price, it isn't always right. So when I did sell an item and I advertised as $11.99 shipping and it came back $7.99, I did the right thing and I reimbursed that individual. I just paid him through his PayPal account instead of sending cash in the mail, which was kind of rough. Okay, so that's the end of that. That is the end of Byrons Gripes for today. I hope you enjoyed Byrons Gripes, and if you do, please let me know what else I could gripe about to raise my blood pressure. Jeez. So, I have everything straightened out with my Ko-fi and Patreon account. Got the addresses correct. So look down in the description, right down. See that black arrow right there? Just press it right down there in the description. Yeah, press it and it'll pop up all my particulars on there. So if you want to support me on Patreon, I would greatly appreciate it. The patrons get put into a special drawing for higher end toys. Not that all of you don't deserve that, you do, but I feel that patrons should get something a little more special for supporting the channel. It's kind of a sacrifice on their part. But everybody, all my subscribers to the channel are eligible for toy giveaways. Every one of you guys. And if you follow my giveaways, I gave away a complete Hal with the driver, an earring Zorana. I can't remember what I did with this last giveaway, but oh yeah, Destro's and Despoiler. So these are nice things I'm giving to you guys because I really appreciate you. You're my friends, and I just like to help you guys out. I've received a lot of help in my life. Life has been good to me, and I just want to pay some of that back. Just be the nicest person as I can be. So go ahead and support me on Patreon. Also, if you want to leave me a one-time tip on Ko-fi, that's great. That's also down right there, down there. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys, each and every one of you. Appreciate the friendships that I have kindled. Just recently met up with Duke 45 for lunch. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed talking with him, and I was kind of starstruck in a way too. You know, he's a great reviewer, somebody I admire, and here I am finally face to face with this dude. He's not on a computer screen. So that was a very cool experience meeting up with him, and I hope to meet you guys someday too. And I'm going to strive really hard to get out to Joe Fest this year in Georgia. I'm actually making a Televiper, or not a Televiper, but an Alley Viper costume. So that's it's a work in progress. I enjoy sewing and cosplay. So anyway, thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Be kind to animals. Stay safe out there. Please, I implore you guys, please do not drink and drive. Even one beer, and you think you're okay, you're not. Alright, I've treated too many people this year for drunk driving, injuries, for being overly intoxicated. I'm not going to get into it, but it gets messy. Okay, just on people coming into the ER. So please, it's not worth it. Get a record for the rest of your life because you felt like you were okay to drive. Okay, when in doubt, don't go out. Have a friend drive you home. Alright, so that's my G.I. Joe public service announcement for today. You guys have a great day. Be kind to animals and everyone around you. This is Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off. Bye-bye.